Hey there, everybody. I hope you're doing awesome. If you are preparing to buy a house, I completely understand. It's a huge decision, right? It is a big financial commitment when you sit there and say, hey, I'm moving. Selling my current house, buying a new one, or maybe you're renting right now and you're gonna go buy another house. It's a big decision. I completely get it. So you need to make sure that you prepare appropriately. So, right, there's some homework. So there's some homework items that you need to make sure that you take care of beforehand, before you even start shopping. What do you need to do to prepare to buy a home? I'm going to give you those tips here in this video. My name is Stephen Kotobash, and I'm a realtor located in the northern Atlanta area, and I get to help people buy and sell houses all the time. I often have clients who reach out to me as buyers 3-4 months before they're even ready to start shopping, because they say, what do I need to do to get ready? What are those things that I need to do now to prepare for the entire experience? And that is what you should do. I don't want you to sit here and watch this video and think, hey, I'm ready to go buy a house, and then tomorrow you start shopping around and you haven't done any homework at all. Because if you do these homework items and take care of these bullet points that I'm about to share with you, it will help make your experience smooth, right, and stress-free. And that is the name of the game when you're trying to make such a huge financial decision as purchasing a home. First off, make sure that you check your credit score. Take a look at what your credit score looks like. There are services out there such as Equifax, Experian, and some others where you can jump online and you can get a free credit report. You can take a look at your credit, make sure you double check everything, because you'll have unpaid bills and things like that that are listed. Make sure that is all accurate, because that credit score will impact your interest rate, and that can impact how much money you need to put down when you purchase your home. So make sure you factor all this in, because the amount of money down, the interest rate, what does that all impact? That all impacts your budget for your house. It all impacts the budget and what you can and cannot afford. So it's terrible if you go out and start shopping without knowing any of that information, and you get your hopes up thinking that you can buy at a certain level, and then later you find out, oh heck no, I can't. I can only buy at this level. So make sure you're familiar with your credit score. That way you can sit down and intelligently put together a budget. Throw it into a spreadsheet and see what you can and can't afford. Number 2, try to manage your debt. Get a handle on what you have out there in terms of bills that you could potentially pay off before you start your home buying experience. What does that do for you? A lender is going to look at what is called a debt to income ratio. So the debt to income ratio is essentially an equation that shows how much debt do you have compared to how much income, and what type of ratio does this spit out for me. So you want to have a favorable debt to income ratio, because once again, it impacts your interest rate later, which impacts what your monthly payment will be once you move into that house. So try to manage your debt and be smart about it. Pay off those things that you can pay. Now, I don't want to sit here and tell you to drain your savings or throw just a crazy amount of cash out the window to pay every single dollar of debt that you owe. I'm not saying to do that at all, but just make sure you've got a good balance so you have a favorable debt to income ratio. Quick question for you. Did you hit the like button and hit the subscribe button yet? Please do that and support my video. I appreciate you. Number 3, contact a mortgage lender. Make sure you reach out to a lender, because they are going to want to get you pre-approved for that loan that you'll eventually get when you close on your property. They're going to gather financial documentation around your salary, income, debt, bank account statements, things like that. So you'll go through that entire process, which is a lot, right? It can be a lot, but hey, it's part of the process and super important, because that lender will then tell you what you're pre-approved for. So that way you'll have an idea of, hey, when I start to go out and look for a house, what can I afford? Can I afford a $600,000 house or an $800,000 house or something in between, that lender will help to steer you in the right direction so you'll know exactly what they are willing to approve you for your new mortgage. Number 4, do yourself a favor and make a list of must-haves and nice-to-haves. The reason I say that is because once you get out there in the market and start shopping, you're going to run into all kinds of houses that are going to have all kinds of features, some great, some not so great. But if you make a list of your must-haves and nice-to-haves, then it allows you to frame up a little better for yourself exactly what you want in a house, and also what you're willing to skimp out on and say, well, I can live with this, or no, I can't live with that. And I will tell you that if the market at the time when you go out to look for a new home, if it is a seller's market, okay, which means there are tons of buyers out there and it might be a very competitive situation, it's easy to get carried away as a buyer. It's easy to get carried away, meaning you get caught up in the moment and the decision becomes very emotional, and you make a decision that you might look back on later and say, we skimped out on this and this, and this was on our list of must-haves, but we skimped out on those. So make sure you put that list together for yourself, and it helps to put together, it helps for you to keep in your head a clear picture of exactly what you want in your next property. Lastly, if you're a first-time home buyer, make sure you consider low down payment options. You may or may not heard of FHA loans, Federal Housing Administration loans. With those loans, as a first-time home buyer, sometimes you can put down as low as 3.5% for that type of loan. So make sure you explore low down payment options, whether you're a first-time home buyer or maybe it's just a real stretch for your budget to try to put down 10, 15, 20%, whatever the number is. Make sure you explore those options, and it's a good opportunity for you to have a conversation with both your realtor and then also with a lender, and you guys as a team, you can look at what options you have available in terms of different types of loans versus a traditional loan. Before you jump off of my channel, do me a favor and check out another video that I've published here where I talk about your mortgage and what happens if, as a buyer, what happens if it falls through on closing day. Yeah, that's kind of a nightmare scenario that can happen and has happened to people in the past, but most importantly, what can you do to avoid that from happening? And if it does happen to you, what are your options? What do you do next? If you're preparing to buy a house, I really hope that this video was helpful for you. Even if you use me as a realtor, or maybe you're in California watching this and you're going to use your California agent to buy out there, I just hope it helps you. That's part of why I do these videos, is to help people and to arm people with knowledge, because when you're making such an important decision as purchasing a home, I want to make sure that everyone is armed with as much knowledge as possible so you can make a good decision. So if you're looking to buy a house soon, I hope this video helped to prepare you for that entire process. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Take care.